This story begins in a world filled with evil dungeons full of mazes to thwart adventurers, uncharted places, unexplored and even unreachable places. These places are known as hidden dungeons. The story revolves around a noble class boy named Noir. After graduating from school, the young man stopped studying and got a job at a library. Today was his first day of work, but as soon as he descended the stairs, he was interrupted by his parents, who informed him that his job had been stolen by a higher-class noble. In this world, there is a rank of nobles, and our protagonist, despite being a noble, is in the lowest rank. He obviously mocks his father for being in this state, when suddenly his sister, Alice, descends the stairs, stating that she will solve this problem. However, he doesn't want any help. She then proposes that he enters the Hero Academy. Those who graduate from this academy can become monster hunters or royal knights. In short, you will have a lifelong job. As he walks down the street, he encounters his friend with ample bosoms, who is also heading to work at the library. His friend's name is Emma Brightness. She becomes completely saddened by the news that her job was stolen. However, she says that she has something to say about the protagonist's ability. This ability is very rare in this world, so much so that his parents jumped for joy when they found out he had it. The problem is that he doesn't know how to use it properly. In fact, he knows how to use it, but he always ends up with a headache when he tries. Then his friend Emma says that she read in ancient texts that when a great sage of antiquity had headaches, he would ask his wives to give him many kisses. She concludes by saying that a kiss must have the effect of relieving headaches. Blushing, she asks if he wants to try it. At that moment, I thought he would be just another typical protagonist, but he actually leaned in towards her and tried to kiss her. However, she shyly moves away, saying that it's not the right place. Later, in a different location, she tells him that he can kiss her, and they do share a kiss at that moment. Has the headache gone away now? After that moment, he tries to use his ability as the great sage did, asking how he can become stronger. The sage tells him that he must venture into the hidden dungeons located southwest of their current location and explains how to open them. However, before finishing talking about the location, his ability is interrupted by a strong headache. Emma quickly offers a kiss to relieve his pain, and they kiss again. He says that his headache improved. Is it true? Now, in front of the dungeon, Noir enters the place with his father's sword and opens the passage just as the great sage suggested. While searching, he hears a voice coming from a room, and when he opens it, he sees someone imprisoned. It's a beautiful woman with blue hair. He questions if she is alive, and she telepathically tells him to touch her head. When he does, we are shown how this woman named Olivia's servant became imprisoned in this dungeon. She had even encountered a monster and defeated it with ease, but she accidentally triggered a trap and ended up trapped for 200 years. The protagonist immediately wants to free her, but she says she is bound by death chains, and if the chains are removed, she will die. She called out to him simply because she wanted someone's company, and since he arrived there, she says she will give him her powers. So, when they touch their heads together, it is done. Now he possesses the power to create powers and give them to others if he wants to. However, to do this, he needs mana, which is called LP here. To obtain this mana, he has to do things that satisfy him, whether it's making money, eating good food, or even doing naughty things. Remember that if his mana reaches 0, he dies. Now, in the corridors of the dungeon, he will test his new power by creating a stone bullet and easily eliminating the monster. But as he spent mana, he feels a bit weakened and decides to return home. Back home, he receives the affection of his sister and manages to recover his LP, feeling refreshed again. The next day, he meets his friend Emma again to ask her a favor and compliments her on her beautiful appearance. After embracing his friend, he regains mana points and decides to create an ability to pass the Hero Academy's exam. As a way to thank her for helping him with this, after she complains of back pain due to her breasts, he decides to use his creation ability to reduce their size. She quickly questions why he did that, and he says it was to help, but still admits that he preferred them large, which astonishes her and makes her plead for him to make them big again. And thus, with her ample bosoms in place, they finished. Now in line for the Hero Academy, he realizes that it's filled with barons and viscounts eager to participate, and they are completely different from a mere baronet like him. When the test for the academy finally begins, the instructor says they will need to collect monster materials and will be evaluated based on the quantity and quality of the items. They will have to form teams of 3 participants for this. Noir quickly looks for people to join his team, but he is coldly rejected because of his social class. Surprisingly, Emma appears and asks if he wants to team up with her. She mentions that she just quit her job at the library and wants to join him. Hearing this, a strange girl named Lenore Bluden appears, asking if she could join the team but also mocking them for being from lower noble classes. The instructor shouts that they have until noon tomorrow to collect as many monster materials as possible and that they can obtain them however they want, implying that wealthier nobles have an advantage as they can buy the materials. Quickly, most of the participants rushed to the stores to buy the materials. However, Noir decides to go to a hidden dungeon in search of rare monsters. He manages to reach the 3rd floor and encounters a level 99 monstrous creature, while he is only level 23. With just one attack from that creature, he would likely be killed. Noir uses an ability to make the creature heavier and unable to move, then creates a gigantic stone bullet using a lot of mana, piercing and eliminating the creature. With that, Noir manages to level up 10 times, reaching level 33. Back at the academy, the rankings of each participant are being announced, with only the top 3 places remaining to be announced. The Genos group takes 3rd place with 5,890 points, the Elizabeth team takes 2nd place with 11,500 points, and in 1st place is the Lenore team, which is Noir's team, with 128,000 points. This is mainly thanks to the Reaper's skull they brought, an extremely powerful creature, earning them the highest score in history to date. And that's how Noir passed the Hero Academy test. His family is overjoyed with the result. However, he didn't expect the registration fee to be such a large amount of money. The next day, at breakfast with his family, Noir decides to ask his father for the enrollment fee money. His father is surprised to hear the amount and explains that he only has that money for the next year. Noir assures him that he will manage to get the money on his own. Speaking with his mentor, Noir receives advice to work at an adventurer's guild, where he can earn the necessary funds. Upon arriving at the guild, Noir meets an attendant named Lola, a beautiful young woman who starts explaining about the guild's adventurers and how the reward system works based on their ranking. After accepting everything, Noir is instructed to write down his abilities on a sheet of paper, with Lola assuring him that the information will be confidential. However, everything changes when Lola reads the abilities and tells him to stop playing around, as those creation abilities belong to a former guild member named Olivia Servant, who has been missing for some time. At that moment, Noir accidentally reveals that Olivia is his mentor, which infuriates Lola. She claims that he must prove it by touching the Cernent book, or his abilities will be written. She bets that if he's telling the truth, she will lift her skirt and show him her underwear while apologizing. The final result confirms that he was telling the truth, and naturally, he claims his part of the bet, while Lola shows everything and apologizes. Afterward, Lola, completely excited about Olivia's disciple, suggests a mission for Noir to find some rare grasshoppers. Now, near the grasshopper's location, Noir considers using his ability as the Great Sage to ask where the insect's hideout is. However, he remembers that it will bring him great headaches, so he decides to use creation to create resistance to that headache, spending 300 LPS on it. While it doesn't completely solve his headache problem, it does reduce the pain. Now, Noir finds the insect, but his head still hurts, leading him to want to kiss his friend Emma. Surprisingly, she arrives at the location, attempting to strike him, accusing him of abandoning her. However, they soon kiss, and the headache disappears. Back at the guild, Noir receives a new mission, but Emma, consumed by jealousy, realizes that Lola is a threat to her relationship with Noir. This generates a great rivalry between the two girls. Now, on their way to their new mission, Emma tries to convince Noir that Lola is not good for him until they notice a change in the terrain. While examining the area, they are surprised by 2 level 17 goblins. As they fight against them, the giant monster rabbit they were looking for appears. Emma, to prove her worth, decides to fight the monster alone, but she gets hit by the rabbit. Noir decides to help her, and they end up leaving the scene. Emma is completely devastated for not being useful, so once again, Noir decides to resolve the situation by altering Emma's dagger abilities. Realizing that he doesn't have enough LP, he proposes something unusual to Emma to make her stronger. He suggests biting her ear to make him feel excited. Despite being very embarrassed, Emma decides to accept. So, Noir goes to Emma and starts biting and licking her ear. After a long time of licking her ear to obtain the necessary LP, the giant rabbit overhears them and decides to attack. Quickly, Noir makes the changes to Emma's abilities, and at the last second, she manages to rescue Noir and kill the giant rabbit. Back at the guild, they are praised for their great work, and after showing that he brought the rabbit's meat for everyone in the guild to eat, Noir is praised by everyone. Now, as night falls, everyone is eating the rabbit meat that Noir brought, and we conclude with everyone wishing him luck at the Hero Academy. Noir feels like he's in a dream. What made him change like this? How did he become so strong? All of this was thanks to his mentor, Olivia's servant. Noir's first day of school has arrived. At the academy gate, they encounter a duchess, the highest noble title, who passes by them. Upon analyzing the girl, the protagonist realizes that she bears a curse that will kill her when she turns 16. As they enter the academy, the students begin to ignore Noir because he is a mere baronet. However, Maria, the cursed noble girl, treats him kindly, leaving everyone in the room puzzled. Later, they attend a self-defense class where the teacher, ridiculously strong with a level of 232, selects Noir to be the first to spar. At her request, Noir attempts to attack her, but she effortlessly dodges using a skill called Step Back. When it's his turn, he gets hit in the stomach, thinking that no one will be able to win. The teacher announces that the person who manages to land a hit on her will receive a good reward. With newfound motivation and using his abilities, Noir learns the technique and successfully lands a hit, receiving his prize immediately. In the next training session, they are paired up, but Emma refuses to team up with Noir since they have been together for a long time. The same happens with Maria and her friend. However, Maria suggests that Noir join her as her partner, and he quickly agrees. During the exercise, when she throws Noir, Maria is unable to bear the strain and falls to the ground. Using his power, Noir realizes that he would need 8,000 LP to remove the curse. Contemplating how he can help her, he goes to the guild and asks Lola if she knows any way to assist Maria. Lola mentions a cleric named Luna, who is her best friend. Luna is highly skilled but rarely accepts tasks involving the removal of curses. Nonetheless, Noir insists that Lola introduce him to Luna. The next day, the receptionist goes to the church where Luna works to see her friend and discuss what Noir wants. Asking his mentor about the curse, Noir discovers a new ability called Lucky Bastard, which allows him to earn more LP. When meeting the cleric, Noir encounters Emma, and we witness his new power in action. Meeting Luna, he gets straight to the point and talks about Maria, whom Luna already knows because she was called for the service but couldn't use her abilities. Noir uses his ocular power to find out the reason why. To remove curses, the half-elf reduces her life force according to the strength of the curse. Nevertheless, Luna insists that she will remove the curse no matter what. However, in a private conversation with her, Noir reveals that he knows she would die if she used her power. Despite not wanting to admit it, Luna is extremely afraid of this outcome. Noir decides to find a solution. He tries to erase the part where Luna loses her life force to remove curses, but it would cost 10,000 LP. However, he discovers that he can spend 4,000 LP instead of life force. He explains how his powers work and what he needs for his plan to succeed. With this, Lola comes up with an idea of how to earn a lot of money quickly and increase their LP. On the upcoming weekend, there will be a tournament called the Pride of Your Harem Tournament. A nobleman who has been betrayed by women multiple times decided to create this competition where he awards 1 million Rhea to the best harem. The audience, as bitter as the event's owner, is there to make the girls feel bad. The best harem championship begins, and the first group enters the center of the arena, where the crowd shows no mercy, humiliating the girls and making Emma scared. The same happens with the following groups until the 9th harem, which belongs to a famous group of adventurers from a rival guild. Due to the girls' beauty, they earn a lot of points. The next group is the final one, Noir's group. Emma jumps in and shakes her breasts, starting off strong. Luna and Lola also impress the audience, enchanting them and earning the highest score in the competition's history. However, the game is not over yet. They have to undergo some tests to prove their love for Noir. Excelling in the test and making everyone jealous, they grab the prize and rush to help Maria. With the help of Maria's friend, they enter her room and explain the situation to her parents. Using Luna's powers, they manage to break the curse, saving Maria's life and creating another rival for the girls. As they leave, they discuss the events and discover that the half-elf is also very interested in Noir. As a way of gratitude for saving their daughter, the Dukes gave Noir and Luna 100 million Rhea each. Emma came up with the idea that Noir should open an item shop, leaving them to deal with the bureaucracy while he goes after rare monster drops. So, he went to the dungeon to talk to his mentor and ask for some tips. She recommended a spell to teleport between dungeon levels and a magic that can blind enemies. Descending through the 3rd and 4th floors, he didn't encounter any notable monsters. When he reached the 5th floor, he saw 2 powerful monsters already defeated. As he looked back, he spotted a giant black lion. Despite his attempts, Noir couldn't see its level or abilities. Just as he was about to teleport to another floor, the monster spoke to him. The lion's name is Tiger Sun, named after his friend who descended to the 6th floor of the dungeon and never returned. Tiger Sun had promised his friend that he wouldn't go down there, and he had waited 350 years for his friend's return. Now, he asked a favor of Noir to descend to that floor and find his friend, who could still be alive as he is an elf. On the 6th floor, Noir encountered various zombies until he came across one that was different from the others, a higher-level zombie with the appearance of an elf. He used his LP to restore the elf to normal. After a brief conversation, they returned to the surface, where Tiger Sun was overjoyed to see his friend again. The elf started crying and explained that he would give up on conquering the dungeon and return to his homeland, where his beloved was. However, their society doesn't accept other races, so he couldn't bring his friend with him. Recognizing the need for a private conversation, Noir teleported back to the surface and waited for the two of them. The elf expressed his gratitude to Noir and promised to repay the favor someday. Concerned about Tiger Sun, Noir followed him back to the dungeon, where he had defeated multiple monsters while crying. In this way, they returned home together, and Tiger Sun became their guardian lion. And in another day at the Hero Academy, the teacher announces what their evaluation will be. On the board, there were various subjects about monsters, and their mission was to score over 10,000 points. Noir and Emma decide to go after the most challenging item, the fangs of a dragon, to gather information on where to find them. They went to the guild to talk to Lola. However, upon arriving there, they saw their friend in great anger, accusing Sarah of stealing her adventurers. Lola said that Sarah seduces adventurers to work with her, which is why her receptionist rating is so high. So, she makes a bet, a duel to see who can bring more results in 1 month. If wins, she will never steal her adventurers again, but if she loses, Noir will change receptionists. Seeing Sarah's formidable abilities, Noir decides to help Lola by taking missions with the highest rewards, especially those involving a dragon. With Luna also joining the group, they complete several missions. They devise a plan to defeat the dragon, and Noir accumulates LP by hugging the girls and grants them the Dragon Slayer ability. After setting the trap, Noir lures the monster into a pit with many spears, and with a combined attack, they manage to defeat it successfully. Thus, they pass the evaluation and take the remaining dragon parts to the guild, greatly boosting Lola's score. Realizing they still need more items, Noir seeks help from his master, who instructs him to go to the 7th floor of the dungeon. She recommends that he learns 3 elemental spells: the Holy Flame, effective against undead; the Water Drop, which can be launched and used as drinking water; and the Violet Lightning, a powerful defense technique. Additionally, she tells him about the most crucial spell, the Magic Fusion, which can combine his magical abilities to create a much stronger and more powerful one. He begins his descent into the dungeon and easily destroys a horde of zombies by combining the Holy Flame with the Stone Bullet. On the 7th floor, he is surprised to find a forest and faces a strong pack of wolves. As he looks back, Noir sees a young girl who looks just like Emma when she was a child. She is a dryad, a forest spirit, and she asks for Noir's help as a monster is attacking her, risking her life. Her name is Dory, and she proposes a deal. If Noir helps her defeat the monster, she will show him the location of 2 treasure chests and how to reach the 8th floor. Near her real body, Noir spots a golden bee, much stronger than him, making him consider giving up. However, witnessing the girl's suffering, he decides to save her, increasing his LP with some kisses from her. Noir then decides to seek help from his master. First, he finds the bee and grants it the target ability, making it easier for enemies to attack it. Then, he goes to the wolves and draws their attention, leading them to attack the bee. After the bee takes a lot of damage from the wolves, Noir combines the power of water and thunder to defeat it. In return, Dory gives him the treasures from the chests, a jewel that enhances the power of wind magic users, and a relic. She also shows him the passage to the next floor. Noir hands over the rare item to Lola, and on the day of the receptionist competition at the guild, Odin arrives. The points are shown as chips, and in the end, only the 2 of them remain, with both adventurers making a scene. In the end, Lola emerges victorious.
The winner is Lola! Lola is the queen of the receptionists!
No way.